You wake up. You commute. You work 8 hours. You come home exhausted. You scroll through your phone. You sleep. Repeat. And somehow, despite working harder than your parents ever did, you're still living paycheck to paycheck. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. This isn't an accident. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. And that design, it's built to keep you average, keep you compliant, and keep you too tired to ever build real wealth. I'm going to show you the 5 invisible traps that are engineered into American life to make sure you stay exactly where you are. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to escape them. Because once you see the game, you can't unsee it. Let's talk about how deep this rabbit hole goes. The American dream used to be simple. Work hard, buy a house, retire comfortably. But somewhere along the way, that dream got hijacked. Today, the average American has $8,000 in credit card debt, less than $5,000 in savings, and is one medical emergency away from financial catastrophe. But here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't happening because people are lazy or stupid. It's happening because there's an invisible architecture built into our society that funnels wealth upward while keeping the majority of us running on a hamster wheel. And I know what you're thinking, oh great, another conspiracy theory. But this isn't about conspiracies. This is about incentives. It's about systems that benefit when you stay average, stay in debt, and stay consuming. So let's break down exactly how this works. The college con. Let's start with college. You're 18 years old, barely old enough to vote, and the system is already setting you up. Every guidance counselor, every parent, every piece of media tells you the same thing. You need to go to college to succeed. And they're not technically wrong. College graduates do earn more on average. But here's what they don't tell you. The game is rigged from the start. Student loan debt in America has exploded to $1.7 trillion. That's trillion with a T. The average borrower leaves school with $30,000 in debt. But many have 6 figures hanging over their heads. And here's the insidious part. You can't discharge this debt in bankruptcy. It follows you forever. The compliance lock. Think about what this does psychologically. You graduate college, you're 22 years old, and you're already $50,000 in the hole before you've even started your career. So what do? You take the first job offer that comes along, even if it's not what you want, even if it pays less than you're worth, because you've got these loan payments breathing down your neck every single month. The system just locked you into compliance. You can't take risks. You can't start that business. You can't take 6 months to find the perfect opportunity. You need a paycheck now, and the system knows it. The ripple effect. But it gets worse, because that student loan debt, it's not just affecting your job choices. It's delaying home ownership. It's delaying marriage. It's delaying having kids. It's delaying every major life milestone that could help you build wealth and stability. Meanwhile, who's winning? The loan servicers collecting interest. The universities that raised tuition 180% over the past 20 years while administrator salaries exploded. The system that now has you locked into 40 years of debt payments. You haven't even started your career, and you're already playing from behind. The success mirage. Okay, so you got the job. You're making $60,000, maybe $70,000 a year. You think, finally, I can start getting ahead. But here's where the system gets really clever. Because now you're surrounded by a culture that tells you what success looks like. And success looks like a new car. Success looks like a nice apartment in the trendy part of town. Success looks like eating out, having the latest iPhone, taking Instagram-worthy vacations. This is lifestyle inflation, and it's the silent wealth killer that nobody talks about. The moving goalposts. You get a raise? Great, your rent goes up. Your car payment goes up. Your expected lifestyle goes up. The goalposts keep moving, and you're still saving the same percentage of your income or less. Here's a stat that'll blow your mind. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And that's not just people making minimum wage, that includes people making 6 figures. Because the system has convinced us that we need to look successful before we actually are successful. Who profits from your lifestyle? And who wins here? Car companies that have you locked into 7-year loans on depreciating assets. Landlords collecting your rent while you build zero equity. Credit card companies charging you 22% interest because you swiped for that vacation you couldn't actually afford. The average American spends $1,497 a month on non-essential items. That's almost $18,000 a year that could be invested, that could be building wealth, that could be buying your freedom. Instead, it's evaporating into lifestyle inflation that keeps you on the treadmill. The social media amplifier. And the really insidious part? Social media has amplified this times 1,000. You're constantly comparing yourself to everyone else's highlight reel. You see your college roommate in Bali, your coworker with the new Tesla, your friend buying a house, and you think, I need to keep up. The system has weaponized FOMO to keep you consuming. The American dream repackaged. Now let's talk about the biggest trap of all, your house. For decades, we've been told that owning a home is the key to building wealth. Real estate always goes up. You're throwing money away on rent. A house is your biggest investment. And look, I'm not saying home ownership is bad, but let's talk about how the system has turned what used to be a path to wealth into another trap. The down payment prison. First, let's talk about the down payment. The average home in America costs $417,000. To put 20% down, you need $83,400 in cash. How long does it take the average person to save that much when they're paying off student loans, car payments, and trying to live? So what do most people do? They put down 3%, 5%, maybe 10%. And now they're paying PMI on top of their mortgage. They're house poor, meaning most of their income is going to the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, maintenance. They have no liquidity, no flexibility, no room to invest in anything else. The interest trap. But here's where it gets really dark. The 30-year mortgage, the standard American home loan, means you're paying almost as much in interest as the original price of the house. On a $400,000 mortgage at 7% interest, you'll pay over $550,000 in interest over 30 years. You're paying nearly $1 million for a $400,000 house. Who wins? The banks. They get guaranteed income for 30 years from millions of Americans simultaneously. The illiquid asset problem. And here's the part nobody talks about. Your house isn't really an investment in the way stocks or businesses are investments. It doesn't produce cash flow unless you rent it out. It costs you money every month in maintenance, taxes, and insurance. It ties up your capital in an illiquid asset. Don't get me wrong, I own real estate, but the system has sold us on the idea that we must buy a house as soon as possible, putting ourselves in massive debt, limiting our career mobility, and tying up all our capital in one illiquid asset in one geographic location. That's not wealth building. That's creating another chain. The 401k illusion. Let's talk about your 401k. You've been told this is how you retire rich, right? Just put away 10% of your income from age 25 to 65, and you'll be set. Except here's what they don't tell you. The 4 hidden problems. First, most employers only match up to 3 to 4%. So you're told to contribute 10%, but they're only matching half of that. Already, the math isn't as good as advertised. Second, your money is locked away until you're 59 and a half. Try to access it before then. 10% penalty plus income taxes. The system just locked up your capital for 40 years. Third, you have extremely limited control over how it's invested. Most 401k plans offer maybe 15 mutual fund options, most of which have high expense ratios that eat away at your returns. Over 40 years, a 1% difference in fees can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Fourth, and this is the big one, you're going to pay taxes on that money when you withdraw it. And here's the bet the government is making. They're betting that tax rates will be higher in the future than they are now. They're betting that when you're 65 and pulling money out, you'll pay more in taxes than you would today. The pension bait and switch. But here's the real issue. The 401k system was never designed to be a primary retirement vehicle. It was created in 1978 as a supplement to pensions. But over the past 40 years, companies figured out they could kill pensions, shift all the risk to employees through 401ks, and save themselves billions. So now you have all the risk. Market crash when you're 64? Too bad. Didn't save enough? Too bad. Made bad investment choices because you're not a financial professional? Too bad. What the rich do instead. Meanwhile, the ultra-wealthy, they're not building wealth through 401ks. They're using strategies the system doesn't advertise to regular people: whole life insurance, opportunity zone investments, qualified small business stock exclusions, 1031 exchanges. The 401k keeps your money locked up and taxable while offering you limited returns and unlimited risk. It's the illusion of retirement security. Two different tax systems. Here's the final trap, and it's the most important one: the tax code. If you work a W-2 job, taxes are taken out of your paycheck before you ever see the money. You can't write off your commute. You can't write off your work clothes. You can't write off your coffee or your lunch. You get a standard deduction, and that's about it. Meanwhile, business owners and investors live in a completely different tax universe. The owner's advantage. Business owners can write off their car, their home office, their travel, their meals, their phone, their internet. They can hire their kids and shift income to lower tax brackets. They can defer income indefinitely. Real estate investors can use depreciation to show losses on paper while making money in reality. They can do 1031 exchanges to never pay capital gains taxes. They can use cost segregation studies to accelerate deductions. The wealthy use debt strategically because interest is deductible and debt isn't taxable. You can borrow against your assets, spend that money, and pay zero taxes on it. The shocking truth. Here's a stat that should make you angry. The 400 wealthiest Americans pay a lower tax rate than the bottom 50%. That's not because they're cheating, it's because the system is designed that way. The tax code is 75,000 pages long, and buried in those pages are thousands of strategies that benefit business owners and investors. But if you're a W-2 employee, you get maybe 3 pages of deductions, and the IRS takes their cut before you even see your paycheck. The system wants you to be an employee. Employees are predictable. Employees are taxable. Employees are controllable. All these dots for you. The system loads you with debt early so you can't take risks. It surrounds you with consumption culture so you never build savings. It sells you a house that ties up your capital and limits your mobility. It locks your retirement money away where you can't use it. And it taxes your labor at the highest rates while giving massive advantages to people who own assets. Not a conspiracy, but a system. This isn't a conspiracy. Nobody sat in a room and designed it this way on purpose. But over time, systems evolve to benefit the people who control them. And the people who control the economic system are the people who already have wealth. The game is simple. Keep the middle class consuming, keep them in debt, keep them working, and keep them too tired to build real wealth. The hope. But here's the good news. Once you see the game, you can stop playing it. How to break free. So how do you escape? Strategy 1, reject the debt trap. First, reject the debt trap. That doesn't mean don't go to college, but it means being strategic. Community college for 2 years, then transfer. State schools over private. Scholarships over loans. And if you already have student loan debt, attack it aggressively. This is the chain holding you back from everything else. Strategy 2, resist lifestyle inflation. Second, resist lifestyle inflation like your financial life depends on it, because it does. Every dollar you save and invest early compounds for decades. That $50,000 car? Invest that money instead, and in 30 years at 10% returns, it's $873,000. You're not buying a car. You're choosing between a car today or $1 million in retirement. Strategy 3, rethink home ownership. Third, think differently about home ownership. Maybe rent longer and invest the difference. Maybe house hack, buy a duplex, live in one side, rent the other. Maybe move to a lower cost of area. Your house should serve your financial goals, not trap you. Strategy 4, maximize but don't stop there. Fourth, max out tax-advantaged accounts, but don't stop there. The 401k is step 1, not the finish line. Build wealth outside of retirement accounts where you have control and access. Learn about Roth conversions, backdoor Roths, mega backdoor Roths. Strategy 5, become an owner. And fifth, this is the big one, shift from being a laborer to being an owner. Start a side business, even if it's small. Buy investments that produce cash flow. Learn about taxes and asset protection. The system rewards owners, not workers. So become an owner. The hard truth. Look, I'm not saying this is easy. Escaping average is hard. That's why most people stay there. But here's what I need you to understand. Staying on the path you're on leads to a predictable destination. Work until you're 65, maybe retire with enough to scrape by. Hope you don't get sick. Hope your money lasts. Hope you didn't waste your life building someone else's dream. Or you can opt out of the system. You're already different. You can see the traps. You can make different choices. You can build real wealth instead of the illusion of wealth. The system is designed to keep you average. But you're not average. You're watching this video, which means you're already asking questions most people never ask. You're already looking for a different path. So take it. What wealth really means. Stop playing the game by their rules. Build assets. Buy your time back. Create options for yourself. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't really about money. It's about freedom. Freedom to choose how you spend your time. Freedom to say no to things that don't serve you. Freedom to take risks and pursue things that matter. The final challenge. The system wants to take that freedom from you, wrap it in debt and obligations and consumption, and hand you back a paycheck and the promise that if you're good, maybe you can retire at 65. I say that's not good enough. You deserve better. You can do better. Now go out there and prove it. If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button because we're breaking down exactly how to escape every one of these traps in upcoming videos. Drop a comment and let me know which trap has affected you most. And remember, the best time to start building real wealth was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. I'll see you in the next one.